Okay, get this video started here. Blessings, blessings. Love you all, divine beings. Glad to have you here today. Today we're actually going to go over the 7 Hermetic principles, or Kimmetic principles, of Tahuti, Thoth, aka Hermes Trismegistus. We're going to be reading a few excerpts from the Kybalion, study of ancient Hermetic philosophy of the ancient Egypt and Greece by the 3 initiates. And we're going over the 7 Hermetic principles. And I say Kimmetic also because it came originally from ancient Kemet, and which is ancient Egypt, and it was brought through the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. And this is the knowledge of the subconscious mind, the knowledge, and this rules over the subjective realm, your own personal subjective realm. I'm going to go ahead and start off with a quote from the Kybalion. "The lips of wisdom are closed, except to the ears of understanding." The Kybalion. The 7 Hermetic principles. The first principle, law of the universe. The principle of mentalism, which is the all is mind, the universe is mental. So we all exist almost like cells within the mind of the all. Some people call the all God, source, the universe. There's many different names for it, but we exist within the mind of the all. And it's most important because all things within this life starts here. All things that have ever been created throughout humanity starts as a thought. Even life here itself was created as a thought. It built up density and came into a more physical formation way later down the line, but it began as a frequency of thought. The second principle is the principle of correspondence, which states, as above, so below, as within, so without. And what this principle states is that the things that happen in the higher realms also affect everything that happens in the lower realms. The things that are happening in the heavens are affecting what happens here on earth. Therefore, on earth as it is in heaven. But that is why astrology is so important, because the things that happen in the heavens directly affects what happens here. And this is one of those things, it don't matter if you believe it or not, it's going to affect you. That's why breaking down your natal chart and understanding all the aspects of yourself through your natal chart is very important. It makes a lot of sense. And always understand that this doesn't mean that if your astrological chart says that you are going to be good at one thing, but then in life you decided to do something else, doesn't mean that it controls you, but it definitely affects you. And the energies that come off of the planets, sun and moon, and all the stars, definitely affect us here. Also, as within, so without. And so without is as within. And what this is stating is what's going on within your inner realm will directly affect what happens in your outer realm. So what you have going on within you, within your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, that is going to directly affect what's going on in your outside world. When things are happening in the outside world, that is directly going to affect what happens to your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. And we have to get to a point where we can transcend to a state of being to where the inside, the inner, is what's controlling the outer and not allowing the outer to control the inner. That's the second principle, the principle of correspondence. Also, they call them laws, the principle of correspondence. Number 3, the principle of vibration, that states that nothing rests, everything moves, and everything vibrates. Tesla was very famous for saying that, the universe is basically made up of frequency, energy, and vibration. Oh, that's funny that this lands on the third law. But everything in the universe vibrates. Everything in the universe has its own individual frequency. Even your body itself has its own individual frequency. And everything vibrates. If you look down even to the smallest molecular level, cells are vibrating. Things are always moving. Things are always in movement. And that is the third principle of the 7 Hermetic principles, law or principle of vibration. Number 4, the principle of polarity, states that everything is dual. Everything has poles. Everything has its pair of opposites. Like and unlike are the same. Opposites are identical in nature, but different in degree. Extremes meet. All truths are but half-truths. All paradoxes may be reconciled. And within the principle of polarity, this is stating that we live in a world of duality. Everything has poles. And where it's stating that all opposites are identical in nature, just different in degree. I'm going to give you an example. Hot and cold are the same thing. They are temperature. The difference is the degree by which the energy is vibrating. When energy is vibrating at a higher or a fast pace, then things are going to get hotter. When things are vibrating or resonating at a slower pace, things are going to be cold. But the fact is that both hot and cold are the same thing. Hate and love are the same thing. That's why a lot of people say that, you love somebody so much that sometimes they'll make you hate them. There's a thin line between love and hate because they're the same thing. All equals, or all paradoxes may be reconciled because of this law of polarity. And also that all truths are but half-truths. This lets you know exactly how life is subjective. There truly is no objective truth. There is no... That's why we understand once you get deeper into occult knowledge that, that this realm, although very real, it is illusory. It is a illusion of... It's like a dream, a dreamlike state. And that's why all truths are but half-truths, because something that is actually true for me may not be true for you. And it's important to understand that each of us have our own individual paths that all lead back to the same place, which is where we came from, which is complete unification, unity, reconnection with Source, the one, infinite mind, the Creator. That is the unity. And we are living in the polarity part of that, which is in separation. So there's unification, which is back with Source, where all things are seen and felt as connected. And then we have this illusion realm where things seem separate. We feel like we're separate from each other. We feel like we're separate from the tree. We feel like we're separate from our clothes. But the truth is, all things are connected. We just see them as separate here. This is the illusion of separation, is what the physical realm is. It's God communing with itself. The one splitting and fractalizing itself into many so that it may commune with itself and have company, basically. Law number 5, or the 5th principle, is the principle of rhythm. It states that everything flows out and in. Everything has its tides. All things rise and fall. The pendulum swing manifests in everything. The measure of the swing to the right is the measure of the swing to the left. Rhythm always compensates. And this, a little tip I can say with this is that, if you get too focused on trying to live a life that is super positive and all love and light, and you're trying to force and make the pendulum swing to one side, the more extreme that you go, the further that pendulum swings, guess what? The further it's going to have to swing back. So when things get really, really, really good in your, for your opinion, that pendulum's got to swing back, so shit's going to get chaotic and crazy at some point. The law of rhythm, or principle of rhythm, always compensates. Then we got number 6, the principle of cause and effect. This is what a lot of people confuse as karma. This is what karma truly is. Karma is cause and effect. States every cause has its effect. Every effect has its cause. Everything happens according to law. Chance is but a name for a law not yet recognized. There are many planes of causation, but nothing escapes the law. And this is very, very true. Whatever you do in life is the cause. And whatever you do is going to cause an effect. Therefore, that's why people believe in karma, because they go out and do a bunch of fuck shit, and then it turns around, pardon my French, but then it turns around and it backfires, and they have all this negative energy coming back at them, and they're like, oh, karma! And it's literally just due to the law or principle of cause and effect. Now we're going to get to the 7th one. Number 7, which is the principle of gender. This states that gender is in everything. Everything has a masculine and feminine principles, and gender manifests on all planes. So, gender manifests within the mental plane, within the spiritual plane, within the emotional plane, the physical plane. Gender is within all planes, and all things have masculine and feminine principles. Within the Kundalini energy, the masculine and feminine energy is the Ida and Pingala, which are the masculine and feminine energies that are like the serpent energy that comes from the root chakra all the way up through the crown. That serpentine energy. And then after those, that pretty much breaks down the 7 Hermetic or Kimmetic law principles, whichever way you would like to look at it. But just understand that these laws definitely affect you, because they are laws over the subjective realm, and your life is subjective. All experiences you have are subjective. They're your own personal experiences. And like I said, there is no right path. There's a right path for you, but there is no right path as for everybody. That's why there's so many religions and so many different spiritual practices. We're going to go ahead and break down into one of the very important parts of the Kybalion, which breaks down mental transmutation. I'm going to read a little quote here. Mind, as well as metal and other elements, may be transmuted from state to state, degree to degree, condition to condition, pole to pole, vibration to vibration, and understand that true Hermetic transmutation is a mental art. So you see, like in all the alchemical and ancient Hermetic things people viewed transmutation as in people being able to transform lead into gold. Just a very physical manifestation of transmutation, which is surface level understanding. That's not the true deep understanding of what is trying to be relayed here within the message of transmutation. The true power of transmutation is mental transmutation. And I'm going to give you a little quick exercise that I do in order to balance my energies and to stay in harmony. I like to say harmony, not balance, because balance is stillness. If this is the scales, the thing in the middle, the balance shows no movement. There's no progression. So I would rather use the phrase harmony. But let's say that you are in a sad mood. Through the art of mental transmutation, we're going to look at through the 7 Hermetic principles of polarity. So on the pole of sadness, what is the opposite of that? Happiness. Okay. So if you're wanting to get out of sadness, you want to move to the opposite pole, from pole to pole, condition to condition. The way that you do that, and this is very simple, do things that bring you to the energy of the opposite end of that pole. So if you're sad and you're wanting to become happy, what you want to do is do things that make you happy. So say dancing, listening to music, going out with friends, studying, anything that makes you happy. That's what you want to do in order to transmute that sad, lower vibrational, negative energy into a positive, high vibrational, beneficial energy. And it's very simple. Say you're stressed. What's the opposite end of the pole of stressed? Relaxed. So then you say, okay, what do I need to do to get out of this stressed place? Use the act of mental transmutation and do the opposite of the pole. So say, what makes me relaxed? Okay, meditation, breath work, going out into nature, going and being with family and friends, dancing, music. There's many things that relax people. But just understand that the true power within you lies within mental transmutation. And you will be able to transmute any type of lower energy that you are not enjoying into a higher, more powerful energy at the drop of a hat. But once you understand that you have all the power in the universe, and through the 7 Hermetic principles and mental transmutation, you can live a life that you could only dream of. Heaven on earth. And let's see, I think I got another little quote here for you. Okay, I wrote this down. I guess this is kind of breaking down what I just said, but use the law of polarity to realize what is opposite of emotion or thought that you're experiencing. Then lead forward towards that opposite pole by doing the things involved in that pole, to use the form of mental alchemy and mental chemistry to balance extreme opposites. Example, feeling sad, realize what's the opposite on that pole, which would be happy. Then you vibrate with the law of vibration and frequency to the other end of that pole. Now that you know where you need to balance and to lean towards, do that thing that makes you happy, singing, dancing, crafts, music, connection, etc., to heighten your vibration. I just wanted to get out here and make a video for you guys. Just digging it out here in nature. Chilling with Shakti, my baby. Gotta love her. This tree's my fern. But yeah, I just wanted to break down the 7 Hermetic principles to you guys. And let you know that you have all of the power of the universe behind you. The divinity of the all lives within you. You are a spark of that divinity, a fractalized piece of the all, whether you call it God, Allah, the universe, source, whatever you like to call it, universal source energy. Many, many different names, but just know that that is you. It is not something that is outside of yourself, up in a cloud looking down on you, judging you. You are that divine being. You are a piece of that being experiencing itself in a subjective realm. I love you guys. Oh, it's starting to get dark out here. It feels really good, though. I hope everybody's having a really good time. For anybody that's wanting to have a deeper understanding of the 7 Hermetic principles, I must say that the Kybalion is where to go. This is when any of my students or anybody that I'm teaching anything about the occult, this is one of the very first books that I suggest you reading, because it breaks down all of these things into a much, much deeper level. I was just giving you a surface level understanding of it, but the book is The Kybalion. It's a study of the Hermetic philosophy of ancient Egypt and Greece by the 3 initiates. This copy, I really like this one. I've read a different version of it where the Kybalion book just looks a little bit different, but it has pretty much the exact same thing written in it. I love you guys. I hope everybody's having a beautiful day, and I will talk to you later. I'll get to making a new video here soon. Peace.